It's your boy, Megalodon J. And it's a Sunday. It's feeling pretty nice out here. I got a special guest today, folks. Miss Kerron Stewart. Jamaican goddess. Jamaican goddess. Jamaican goddess. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I don't use to interviews anymore because I'm now retired. So when I'm asked to do an interview, I'm like, okay. But thanks for having me, and it's good what you're doing, and I just encourage you to keep it up because there's a space for all of us to do what we love to do and just to fulfill that purpose that God gives us.
So tell me this. It's Sunday. What's the weather like where you at?
It's actually nice. It's actually nice. It's about 50 something, so it's nice.
50 something.
And it's sunny. It's sunny, so
50 something is jacket weather for me. I can't do anything.
So me too. it is me too.
So, folks, if y'all are not familiar with Kerron Stewart, she has a tremendous track record of greatness all up and down the track history, all the way through Jamaica to Alabama to everywhere. Everywhere she stepped foot on a track, she set that thing on fire. So, Miss Kerron, can you please give the people a feel of some of your experiences throughout your track career? Let's talk about college a little bit because I used to live in Alabama, so I want to make sure we give Alabama a little bit of love, from Auburn. But let's talk about it.
Wow, my college experience it was really good. I don't have much bad experience about college. As we know, college is tough. It's about balancing, being an athlete and being a student. And I mean, just taking things as it comes and just learning to, be a person and be an athlete. And that's one of the things I enjoyed about my college years is I wasn't just seen as an athlete, I was also seen as a student. And I had to learn to balance that. Plus, just figuring out who you are as a person. And I think college kinds of give you that platform, just to figure out who you are and to just work with the opportunities that you are given. So my hats off to my college experience and all the people who have helped guided me, so I can now sit here and be a product of something great. And that's because of the people who were around me and the people who sacrificed so I could accomplish my dreams.
Okay. See, I used to live out there in Alabama. It's nothing but sticks out there. So I already know, man. I'm like, whoo. And you're one of the first sprinters that I've seen, male and female, that, virtually changed the game for a lot of us because there's not a lot of like slender, muscular, like sprinters that produce really, really fast times at that time when you were doing it. And big ups to that because you open the door for a lot of us, to get out there and do the thing, on that track. So I appreciate it. I have a lot of love for it. And so we're after you got out of college, you ended up obviously turning pro. You were doing some great things. Now you are an Olympic medalist. Can you walk me a little bit through the process of even trying to make it into the Olympics? Because I know it's a very hard thing to do. You did it numerous occasions. So can you walk me through the process a little bit, how that experience was?
I like to tell people this, and it's the truth. I didn't make it to the Olympics in 4 years. I have been dreaming about the Olympics since I first saw the Olympics in 1996. So, and I was probably around 11 or 12 years old. So I was putting in some form of work to get to the Olympics. So I didn't just get to the Olympics in 2008. That was just the time that everybody saw the results, but the work took place over a period of time. And that's the that's what I'm trying, to help other young athletes to see that it's a process. And every step, every decision, every direction that I went in from that time that I saw the Olympics in 1996 led to me being an Olympian, right? And I am sure not one, maybe now they will know, but not one of those athletes who competed in the 1996 Olympics knew that they were inspiring a little girl from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that is why for me, you know, what I do is so much bigger than the Olympics. And I am now learning that my gift, my talent is so much bigger than me, because I can inspire somebody else just like how I was inspired. So for me, my Olympic experience, it's years and years of working and sacrifice. And I can't say this enough. It wasn't just my sacrifice. It was the people who took time to teach me something, to teach me about my technique, to teach me about being disciplined. My mother sacrificed, my family sacrificed. So somebody had to sacrifice, whether it was their time or their effort or their energy, into me becoming a person that people can look up to, or people can say, oh, she inspired me. It was so much work, right? So I'm merely just standing on the shoulders of so many other people.
I get fired up watching you explain it because it's like you're so passionate about it, and I can tell that you're
Yeah,
grateful, man.
I am.
It's just like
I am.
it's you can, man. Whoa, okay. So let me ask you a question because you did bring up talents, and it's something that I
Mhm.
noticed about one of your talents. Now, I do take a lot of selfies. I don't post them. I'm very, very upfront about that because I don't feel like I'm the best photographer. But I did notice that you are a very great photographer. So can you talk to me about what made you get into that? Because you took a picture of a flower, and I experienced every piece of color that was coming out of that picture. So can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Uh, I always say photography is like one of my first love, like something that I started out doing, not knowing what I was doing. But when I look through the lens, I know what I want to see, and I know what I want to capture. I know what I want to bring to life. And when I was really young, before I even had any interest in running, my mom bought me a camera, and I would just take pictures of people, pictures of things. And she would always get so mad because she had to clean the pictures and she had to spend the money. And she was like, why are you never in any of the pictures? And I was like, I don't know. I just like being behind the camera. And it's just so funny how your life, I believe everything you do, every direction you take, whether it's pain or something good, it's supposed to help you. You're supposed to be there at that certain time. And funny enough, I never liked being in front of the camera, but for most of my life, I was in front a camera. So, but I I love photography because there is no expectation when I go to take a picture. It's just what I love, and it's what brings me peace, right? So when I I don't take a lot of pictures, but when I do, it is just something that inspire me. So I can go out and take like 200 pictures, and I only like one. I only just see one. And for some people that probably seems like a waste of time, but it's just about what I love most about photography is I can see something, and when I take the picture, it doesn't allow me to forget what I saw, right? It slows me down to enjoy that moment, like just to savor that moment, to save that moment. And that is not something we get often to do. And I think that's something that photographers, I think most of us will say, that is what we love the most. Is about saving that moment that would have passed without even noticed.
You you have a phenomenal talent, man. I was going and I was scrolling. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, she got me want to put this
I
on my wall at the
I am
house.
I am so humbled because photographers, I don't think we are ever pleased about our work. Like when we see other people work, we're like, wow,
Yeah.
how didn't I thought of that? So that's just how it is, especially for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's amazing. My eyes appreciated it, and my soul appreciated it too. Because I was like, yeah, I need
That's
to
what it.
I need to get with her when I need a photographer because that there you have some fire work. I'm telling you. So real quick, because I don't want to hold you too long. I know it's a lot of things going on. It's Sunday, but if you could give someone some encouraging words because we're going through the pandemic. You know, a lot of things have basically shifted everywhere. If you could give somebody some words of encouragement with just following their dreams and living a positive, happy life every single day, what would Kerron Stewart tell them to pick them up?
Wow. I guess it's the same thing that I try to tell myself every day. First, honestly, what I stick to is just the word and my faith. And that has been one thing that, have been very consistent in my life and hasn't changed. And I don't want that to change either. It's just that relationship with God. Because it's tough and it's difficult. And there is people can always say you have to adjust. And yes, we do have to adjust. But there is also we have to take the time to adjust progressively. And what I mean by that is we are learning so much. Because if it's one thing that I've learned this season is I had to like stop and well, I was forced to stop. And then you start realizing that, oh my gosh, I have to deal with some things now. I have to deal with some things mentally. I have to deal with some things that I had put in the past. I had to deal with some hurt that I had left in the past, right? So all those things now they come back. So you are trying to deal with those things and trying to adjust to the environment around you and what's going on. And that is a lot,
Yeah,
right? That is so much because now I am left to be in my head more, right?
yeah.
And that is a struggle already for us because the amount of thoughts that we go through in a day and try to process that and then try to tell yourself that, listen, I have to be positive because what is happening is truly out of my control. But what I can do is just be the best person that I can do. I have to get creative. Now I have to think more. I have to figure out how to do more. And one thing I am going to encourage people to do, and that's the same thing I've been encouraging myself to do. 2020 have been a year of learning. If you haven't learned anything, then that means you have truly wasted a year. I have learned so much in 2020 about the world, about people, and especially about myself. Like really what I am capable of, the decisions that I make during such a tough time. So now it's about applying it,
Hmm.
right? So if what we learn we don't apply, then things are going to get a lot more difficult, right? So if I learn how selfish people are, right, and myself included, then you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to say, you know what, how are ways that I can be less selfish? How are ways that I can, the knowledge that I learn, how can I apply it? Because I heard this quote. It says, if you have knowledge and you're not using it, then it's wasted knowledge.
Yeah.
So I am trying to commit this year to redeeming my time, right? And I want God to redeem my time, and I want Him to show me how to redeem my time, because I know that I'm here for a purpose. And the moment you realize that, I think things just change for you. Not that you're perfect, not that you become perfect, but when you realize that, you know what, I have a purpose, there is something here for me to do, whether it's big or it's small, something changes within you and you now have a urgency. So that is what I want. I am encouraging people to do. I'm encouraging young athletes to do, especially for us, because we pay so much more attention to time, and sometimes it's often the wrong time, right?
Oh
if
man,
if
you
that makes any sense.
oh you
So
dropping some
that's why
gems. You dropping some
pay
gems.
attention
Oh, let's
to.
go. Let's go. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely appreciate you for taking the time to speak with me. You bless my heart with me being a man of faith. I can definitely appreciate everything that you're saying because you're right. Has been a definite year of growth and learning. And if you didn't learn anything from all of this stuff that's going on, you did waste your life. You are wasting it. You're going to continue to waste it, and you're going to stay stagnant. You're absolutely correct. And I can appreciate you saying that. No wonder why you take very very good pictures, because your perspective is there. It's open.
I have one question for you.
Let's
Why
go.
did you start? Why did you start doing this podcast?
Um, I honestly I really got tired of people not appreciating people for who they were, right? So they see
Mhm.
they see track athletes, and if they don't run well, they criticize the people for not running well. But they don't have enough courage to get out there and try to pursue their own dreams, right? And they want to criticize people. So I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get in contact with some people so they can show people that they have true emotions, true all these feelings. They have other responsibilities other than just track and field. Track is what you guys do, but that's not who you are. And
Or yeah.
and I love speaking to people and hearing their stories and man, especially like people of faith. I love to hear that. So it makes me appreciate the craft even more because I understand that it's a lot of work put into trying to be special at anything. If you're
Mhm.
trying to be the fastest race walker out there in the world, there's some form and technique that goes with that. But it's not just the form and technique that you need to focus on, it's your day-to-day life. And so I
Mhm.
want to give people an experience of the actual person behind the craft, not just the craft, because we know what the craft is. We see the craft, but can we appreciate the person? And so, like with you, I seen you run for over a decade, but I would have never have thought that you were, as far as depth wise, were so you're deep. You're really deep. You're really really deep. And so I can appreciate that because it I know that you're helping the youth discover themselves the same way. And I can appreciate that. That makes the world better. That makes everything else better. Because if they're not going to be track and field athletes, they could be a painter, they could be a photographer, they can be somebody in
Mhm.
culinary. school. You know, they can design shoes. You know, and I can appreciate that. So you're just all you're doing is giving back and blessing the world, and I can appreciate that. So yeah, that's why.
Okay. Well, keep it up because, as you said, sometimes even as athletes, because of the expectation that we put on ourselves first and foremost, and the expectations of the people around us in the arena that we're in, we forget sometimes that I am a person first and an athlete second, right? And my coach always says this. um, the results, the only thing that it's going to show up beside your results is just the time. It won't say that you were sick, you weren't feeling well. It won't say any of that. It's just the time. And sometimes I wish I could leave a note next to my time. I could explain, but it's not there. It's just the world that we're in. And I learned this when I retired, and I wish I had learned this while I was competing, that it's okay for me to be a person. Track is not who I am. It's just what I do.
Yeah,
And sometimes because you want to do well so bad, it consumes you, and you forget your identity, which is you're a person. Because I have to, I'm still Kerron. I'm no longer an athlete. I'm still Kerron. So I have to live with Kerron, right? Which the athlete part of my life is somewhat over. The only thing is I still have the accolades and all of those stuff, but that's all they are. It's just things and
yeah.
accomplishments. But I still have to live with this person. I still have to be Kerron.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah. I'm when I get off of here, I'm gonna make sure that I say a special prayer for you because it's people like you that help change the world. Seriously.
I I appreciate that so much. You know, every time before I do an interview, I always say, God, please speak through me, because I know it's not about me. But when I don't do that, I don't feel like my interviews are effective because it's about me. And because it's not about me, I have to ask God to speak through me. So even sometimes I'll go back and look at the interview and I was like, who is that person talking? And I am reminded what I asked for before I do the interview. And when you reached out to me, I was like, okay, who is this person? And that's why I asked you what your podcast was about. And then you told me, and I was like, I will do it because you're doing something positive, right? And it's my duty to help you, even, and you're helping me. And by us helping each other, I'm sure we will be helping somebody else.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You
You're
guys,
welcome.
this is Kerron Stewart. She dropped some gems on you guys. Please make sure if you missed something, go back and rewind it. She dropped a lot of knowledge on you guys. Kerron, I thank you so much for your time. May God bless you on your journey.
Thank you so
And
much, and may He bless you too.
thank you so much. You guys, we out.
All right. Thank you for having me.